different what you call rose trees, and the Nightingale expected that Nightingale will get help, but unfortunately there was no alternative. That is why Nightingale decided to give up her life. Otherwise, don't come to a false conclusion that Nightingale did not do anything. That is why I said that there are a lot of rising actions, and there are a lot of what you call rising actions and the initial conflicts as well. So don't come to a misunderstanding in that perspective. That is something very important, right? Meanwhile, the Nightingale takes a very crucial decision at this moment to build a red rose through her heart's blood for the sake of true love. That is what we call rising action. Yeah, there are a lot of rising actions rather. Then the climax. What do you mean by the climax? Climax can be taken as the most important part of the story, right? So in a short story, in a plot, climax is known as the most top part of the story, which is known as the most interesting part of the story as well. The climax of the story is the occasion that the Nightingale sacrifices herself for true love. That can be taken as the climax. The death of the Nightingale is the birth of the red rose. The gradual death and the birth of the red rose are dramatically juxtaposed. What do you mean by juxtaposed? Right? Juxtaposed means you are keeping two contradictory ideas together, right? So there is a big difference between paradox and juxtapose. A lot of students, they ask this problem, they ask this question from me. Juxtapose means you are keeping two different ideas together, and paradox means like you are keeping two juxtapose refers to you are keeping two words together, two different words together, two contradictory words together. As an example, bittersweet, right? Bittersweet. So two contradictory words. So that is juxtapose actually. Paradox refers to you are telling about two contradictory statements. You are referring to two contradictory statements. It is not a word. They are two contradictory statements. Now here it is actually a juxtapose, right? You are delivering with the, you are referring to the death and the birth of Nightingale. That is the big difference, right? So please try to understand that in that perspective. Otherwise, you will have a lot of problems. Now I will explain you again. Juxtapose means you are keeping two contradictory words together. Next example is bittersweet. Two contradictory words together. Paradox means you are having two contradictory lines together. Now, as an example, all the animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than the others. Example, all the animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than the others. Understood? First statement, I say that all the animals are equal. But later on, I say that some animals are more equal than the others. Can you understand? That is what we call paradox. We have two different ideas actually inside. So when it comes to irony, Yasiru asked about irony. They have a lot of problems regarding the irony. Irony is also a very important technique where we have three types of irony. I have to explain you about the three types of irony. Number one, first one is verbal irony. What do you mean by verbal irony? Irony is inside the words, right? Irony is inside the words where what I did not say, what I say rather is not what I meant. That is what we call verbal irony. I say something from my words, but it's not what I meant, right? I say something from my words, but it is not what I meant. As an example, you have a class at 4 o'clock and you come to the class at 4:30. You have a class at 4 o'clock, you come physical class, you come to the class at 4:30. So in front of the students, I asked from Yasiru, Yasiru, would you like to have a cup of tea? Now you can clearly understand I am not giving a cup of tea to Yasiru. No. Now normally we give a cup of tea in order to welcome something or welcome someone, right? So a guest or someone. But Yasiru is late to the class, so I can't blame him in front of the public. But I make sure to assure that you are late to the class. So I say that, would you like to have a cup of tea? Or else, Yasiru, today you came very early. Today you came very early. So you can clearly understand class starts at 4 o'clock, but he came at 4:30. So it is not early. So he was late. Instead of telling he was late, I will say he was early. He came early. I'm sorry. That is what we call verbal irony. Second one, we have dramatic irony. We have dramatic irony. What do you mean by dramatic irony? When we have a drama only, we can have dramatic irony. Can you understand? When the drama is going on, there are certain characters in the drama, so they are acting each other. You can write down if these points that you want, especially grade 11s, right? If we have a question. No, Sasindu, wait. You are going far away. Wait. I will explain one by one. Irony, we have three types of irony. Number one, verbal irony. Number two, dramatic irony. Dramatic irony occurs when the characters are inside the stage or else on the stage. When they are telling certain dialogues, one character, as an example, inside a room, there is a snake. Just an example, right? Inside a room, there is a snake. As the audience, we know that. As the audience, we know that. But unfortunately, the character does not know that. The character also know that, but he assumes that the character doesn't know, right? So the character is going to open the door and suddenly the snake will bite the fellow. But we know that the character doesn't know. That is what we call dramatic irony. That is what we call dramatic irony. Did you get that? Second irony. Third irony, situational irony. What do you mean by situational irony? According to the situation, the irony occurs. As an example, there was an accident and an ambulance is coming to what you call take the people to the hospital. Unfortunately, even the ambulance also faced with an accident. Can you understand? That is what we call situational irony. Or else another example, what do you call, there is a fire. There is a fire going on and they are calling to the what do you call rescue, Department of Rescue and Fire. Unfortunately, when they arrive there, their what do you call vehicle also caught on fire, right? They can't even what do you call give up. They can't even what do you call save their truck as well. The Department of Rescue and Fire, they can't even save their truck as well. That is what we call situational irony. According to the situation, something that happens which we never expected, right? That is what we call situational irony. Do you have any problem with that, Yasiru? Can I go to sarcasm? If you have any problems, you can ask. Any problems, Yasiru? So I have explained about the paradox. I have explained about the other one that is called juxtapose. Then I have explained about the irony. Right? Right. Okay. Then Sasidu is asking, sir, there is a problem between sarcasm and irony. That is totally different. Sarcasm and irony is totally different, and there is some kind of similarity as well. I will explain. Through irony, we can build sarcasm. Through irony, we can build sarcasm, right? Now, as an example, what you call when it comes to dramatic irony, when we refer to dramatic irony, when someone is telling that I can believe my friend, my friend is the most honest person that I have ever seen in my life. He is the best fellow that I have ever seen in my life. When he's telling like that, what do you call, as we know that he is a robber. As the audience, we know that he is a robber. So we can have some kind of laughter. That is not laughter, that is not sarcasm. But another fellow, same drama, who knows that this fellow is not honest. And he also tells that, yes, this fellow is a very honest fellow and he's a very nice fellow. But inside he knows that he is not. That is what we call sarcasm, right? So through irony, we can generate sarcasm or else laughter. And there is a big difference when it comes to laughter, comedy and sarcasm. Comedy means general laughter. We all laugh. Good example is Mr. Bean. Irrespective of the age, we all laugh at him. We all laugh at him. That is what we call comedy. But sarcasm means, but what do you mean by sarcasm? You are laughing to someone's weakness. That is what we call sarcasm, right? That is what we call sarcasm, right? Laughter. Both are very similar, but there is a slight difference. Now, when we say Mr. Bean, that is not sarcasm. We laugh at him, but he sarcastically shows certain weaknesses that people have. So, can you understand? Mr. Bean, from his actions, he sarcastically shows which will bring us some laughter, right? Sometimes he parks the vehicle where he should not park the vehicle, and the what do you call tank comes and crushes the vehicle. Have you seen? Have you seen those things? Sometimes he is writing an exam and he is trying to copy, right? Those are the things, certain weaknesses that people do. That brought out the sarcasm. That brought out the sarcasm. He's trying to copy and he's trying to, what do you call, take some of the papers that he has brought from his house and to write answers. He is continuously changing his pen, asking a lot of papers to write. Have you seen Mr. Bean? If you take collectively all these actions, my dear students, that is called comedy. That is called comedy. But sarcasm refers to comedy with some kind of a weakness, some kind of weakness that we can see in people. This is what we call sarcasm. That is number one. Number two, sarcasm can be generated using irony. All types of irony. With irony, there can be sarcasm. With irony, there can be sarcasm, right? So that is the most important part that you have to remember. Don't misunderstand these three aspects. Sasidhu, very important. I don't know whether you will study literature in advanced level or else in your degree level or something, but don't misunderstand them. We have different levels. Irony, we have different levels. Sarcasm, we have different levels, and paradox and juxtapose, right? We always have that, what do you call, statement, right? Statement. That is what we call paradox. I have given you example. Paradox means two different lines, but they are contradictory to each other. Juxtapose means in the same line, you will have the both two words, right? As an example, the girl's wedding is a bittersweet occasion to the parents. Juxtapose. But it is a bittersweet occasion. It is bitter that what you call at the end of the day, the beautiful girl is going outside to another house. So the papa will be sad, mama will be sad. ගෙදර හිටිය ලස්සන දුව කසාද බඳලා වෙන ගේකට යනවා. අම්මටයි තාත්තටයි දුකයි. Bitter. By sweet, at the end of the day, this headache is going from our house. That boy has taken the burden onto his shoulders. From today onwards, that boy will carry that burden. අම්බේ ලොකු දෙයක් අපේ කෙල්ල ගෙදරින් යන එකම තමයි හොඳ. අදින් පස්සේ අර කොල්ල තමයි මේ ගෑණිව කරගහගෙන ඉන්නේ. අපිට කරදරයක් නැහැ. ඕන දෙයක් කරගත්තා. Sweet. So we have been discussing about the sarcasm, right? I hope that you have understood about that. So can you understand from even paradox also, Sasidhu, we can bring out sarcasm, right? From paradox also we can brought out sarcasm, right? That is something very important. Sarcasm can be taken as deep laughter, just not only a laughter likewise, but that laughter gives you some kind of a meaning. Why did you laugh? You are laughing to own mistakes, your own mistakes, right? We just laugh with our friend when we meet our friend. Hello, Kamal, how are you? Yes, that is not sarcasm. There is no sarcasm in there, right? But when you are laughing with a person, knowing that this person is a robber, a thief, a liar, right? And then you are acting, really, really, yes. With that laugh, there is sarcasm, right? There is huge sarcasm. Grade 11s, you have a poem called about, right? Relatable laughter. When you exactly, yes. There is another poem. I can't remember that poem. There is a full of sarcasm in that poem. Soon after I get that poem into my mind, I will tell that. That is what do you call about the society, the certain weaknesses that people can see in the society. I can't remember that poem. I will tell you the poem soon after I get that. Right. Okay. So we have discussed about the climax, right? So once upon a time, Stefani, thank you so much, Stefani. Once upon a time, yes, in that poem we have continuous sarcasm, which clearly shows the downfall of human characteristics, clearly shows the downfall of human behavior, human social values, right? There we have sarcasm up to the first level. Sasidhu, if you get some time, you should read that poem, Once Upon a Time by Gabriel Locar. I can't remember the poet. I think Gabriel Locar. One of the best poems that we can show sarcasm. Throughout the poem, he laughs, he sarcastically shows what kind of weaknesses that we commonly possess in our society. Once Upon a Time by Gabriel Locar. We will learn about that. Very good. I really like to ask when you are asking questions, and personally, I like to talk with you guys. But the only problem is when you open your mics, a lot of noises will be there. Now, as you can see in my house, you can't see any voices, right? Because I don't allow my people to talk when I'm conducting classes. That will be a disturbance for you. That is why I really like to talk with you guys, but I have given a chance to type your answers and send that to me. Don't come into a misunderstanding that the teacher is not letting us to talk, but I like to talk with you and I can do I like to do the work like that. But this scenario is not that much. I don't prefer in this scenario to do that. The climax of the story is the occasion that the Nightingale sacrifices herself for true love. The death of the Nightingale is the birth of the Red Rose. The gradual death and the birth of the Red Rose are dramatically juxtaposed, not in the story, but dramatically, right? The student sees the Red Rose at noon and says that it is wonderful piece of junk, right? Then he plucks it and takes it to the, he doesn't actually plucks it, he actually takes it. He takes it to the professor's daughter. So he says that it is a wonderful piece of junk. He takes it as a junk. Wow, what a beautiful red rose. Even though he take it as a red rose, he tells that it is a junk. From his memory, he tells that, or else from his heart, right? He does not understand the value of that. Otherwise, don't think that in the book it is said as junk. I have referred to that word because like as a juxtapose where he does not understand the real value of the red rose. That is what I have used that word. But in the book, there is nothing like that. Right, okay. So we have the literary techniques. The last one, the resolution. Resolution means the last part of the story. In the end, the student concludes what a silly thing love is and goes back to the great dusty books of metaphysics. The student seems to think that love is trivial emotion that should not be bothered too much. That is why the student easily erases the memory of the girl without begging and pleading her love. So the boy clearly understands the reality, right? The boy clearly, there is falling action. Okay, right. There can be a falling action. I have taken that into the resolution. I'm sorry, polling action is here. The student comes hopeless when the girl refuses to accept the rose. So the boy goes to give the red rose, but suddenly the girl vehemently refuses that. Right? The girl says that I don't want. Is it like self-reflection of his mistakes? Venuja, yes. I have used that in that perspective because he did not understand the sacrifice actually done by the Nightingale. That is the problem that we can see. The student becomes hopeless when the girl refuses to accept the rose. We all get what you call so much emotional when the girl who we love suddenly says that I don't want your red rose, so I don't want your love. That is some kind of a different type of an experience that a boy will get, even a girl will get. Normally in the relationships, the girl does not take that first step, but the boy will take the first step. At the end of the day, the boy will suffocate. But nowadays, boys are really intelligent. I'm really happy about that. Even in my school also. She frowns, showing her dislike and states, I am afraid it will not go with my dress. Can you understand the importance that they have given to the dress? They think about the dress. They don't think about the emotions of the person. Can you understand, my dear students? Please make sure to pay your attention. Victorian society, utilitarian values, social values. The red rose is not matching with my dress. So they always thought about their outer appearance. They never wanted to think about their inner appearance, right? From outer appearance, they all are beautiful, but inside they are ugly. Victorian people are so ugly that nudity is brought to here by characters like Charles Dickens and characters like Oscar Wilde. That inner nudity is brought out in literature. They are brought out in literature, right? Even though you have what you call dressed beautiful clothes, and even if you have all the suits and ties and beautiful frocks and everything, that is outside. Inside, you stink. You are very ugly characters. You don't have any humanitarian values. This is what Oscar Wilde tries to bring out. This is what Charles Dickens also wanted to brought out. We can see a lot of stories. We can see Oliver Twist. We can see Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, Tale of Two Cities. If you take most of the novels of Charles Dickens, we can clearly see that how people wanted to keep their social status, referring to the vehicle that they use, referring to the house that they live, referring to the clothes that they wear. Can you understand? Not with inner qualities like honesty, kindness, laughter, love and emotion, affection. They didn't give any place for them. They only thought about money, outer appearance, beautiful clothes, shiny shoes, beautiful vehicles, valuable jewelry. These things are taken into consideration in the utilitarian philosophy. उपयोगितावादी संकल्पය යුරෝපයේ उपयोगितावादी සංකල්පය බිහි වෙනවා. උපයෝගීතා සංකල්පයේදී වඩාත්ම උපයෝජනයට ගත හැකි දේ වැදගත්යයි සලකනවා. එහිදී මානුෂීය සම්බන්ධතා, ආදරය, කරුණාව, දයාව, සෙනෙහස රත්තරන් පුතේ තැනක් නැහැ. හරි සරලව තේරුම් ගන්නකො. ඒවා වලට මිලක් නියම කරන්න බෑ. ආදරය 120ක දෙන්න, රුපියල් 1000ක කරුණාවන්තකම දෙන්න. එහෙම කියන්න බෑ. ඒ වලට ගණක් නියම කරන්න බෑ. ඒක වැඩක් නෑ. සතපහකට වැඩක් නෑ. ඔක තමයි කියන්නේ. Right? The student becomes hopeless when the girl refuses to accept the rose. She frowns, showing her dislike, and states, I am afraid it will not go with my dress. She proudly discloses that the Chamberlain's nephew has sent her real jewels, so that she seems to accept him as a suitable lover and the partner at the ball. When she go to the ball, a lot of attention will be given to her. Right? Gold digger. Ayyo, nothing to ask, puta. Gold digger. Obviously, gold digger when it comes to our society. Last week I said that, right? Profoundly a gold digger. Profoundly a gold digger. There's no hard and fast rule. That is why she selects actually. Chamberlain's nephew has given me this thing and that thing. Who are you? You are a student. You don't have silver buckles even. Who are you? What is your job? What is your profession? Right? She directly asked that. She directly asked, who are you? You are bringing me a red rose and you are, what do you call, Chamberlain means, what do you call, high, it's like Mahamatya, or we can like a minister who works in the palace, right? A type of a minister who works in the palace, one of, what do you call, his nephew, right? In English, it is known as that, one of the high class people who actually lived with relevant to the palace, right? That is what we call Chamberlain, right? Like a minister, high class minister, right? Thus, the student is subject to humiliation. Right, humiliation, as he does not have sound economic and social position. sound economic and social position. What do you mean by social position? Samaje tanak ne. Arya Chamberlain's nephew have certain connection with the palace. So people will give some kind of attraction. Now just imagine that as a girl, all the girls will agree with me, right? When you are dating with a boy from village, who is eating all these beetle and going in a cart, or would you like to, what do you call, associate a girl who comes from a Mercedes Benz and have some kind of connection to Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa? You will go with the second option, no? If I were a girl, I will also go with the second option, right? That is the reality in the world. That is why the girl is asking, who are you? What is your social status? You are just a bloody boy. That's it. Chamberlain's nephew has brought me jewels. He has got money. He has got social status as well, Eshani. That is why he's a Chamberlain's nephew. This one is a boy who is studying, right? Who cares, right? But Chamberlain's nephew means he has got a lot of connections with the people in the palace. So a lot of connections can be seen. Thus, the student is subject to humiliation as he does not have sound economic and social position. The girl's class consciousness and her greed of materialistic things are vividly highlighted in the end. Did you see? Class consciousness, the problem with the class, the social classes in the industrial society, we saw three classes. We saw the first class, we saw the middle class, and we saw the working class. Can you understand? But here we don't have any working class people. Here we have middle class and the upper class. We have three class systems in Victorian society, not class 1, class 2, class 3, grade 13 class, grade 12 class, not like that. Class difference means people were actually divided according to the class. The topmost were known as upper class, right? So Chamberlain's nephew actually belonged to upper class, who have got the connections with the king, and they associated the king. So they had this upper class people, right? Then we had the mid people, like we all belong to the nobles. Yes, Venuja, my boy, very good, right? Nobles, exactly, that is the word. There's another word that we can use for these people, aristocrats, right? Right, whether they are, what do you call, dealing with the noble party. If you take what do you call, Beabai and Tenchakov, they are also, we have the noble class, right? Popova and Simirnov, they all belong to the high class family, noble class, upper class we call. Second one are known as the middle class people, right? Middle class people can be taken as like just like you and me, right? We are middle class people. We were there to work in their houses and in their what do you call, office work and documentary work and this thing and that thing. So they are known as middle class, right? They were not rich, neither they were poor. They were not rich, neither they were poor, middle class, right? Then we had the working class, the peasants who worked under them, right? Then we had the peasants who worked under them. Likewise, in the Victorian society, the social class can be seen. Now, when you read Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, when you take Tale of Two Cities, we can see working class people, right? If you have read the Oliver Twist is actually lived in the Jew's house. All of there, we can see the working class people. Love does not need money, but it does need money to live. Exactly, Puta. There is no doubt about that. That is why I am not blaming this girl. As boys, right? Why boys should study? There is a certain behavior in our story. I'm not telling that girls should not study. It is a must that a girl should study. There is no hard and fast rule. But when it comes to our society, our parents are blaming our boys that so you have this argument. The reason is that males are there in order to earn money. That is why they should study. But on the other hand, girls, if they do not study, they have other alternatives. If they are beautiful, if they are pretty, someone will come for them. They can survive, Puta. But we are not like that. We have to work. We have to study. We don't have any other alternative. Can you understand? So girls, they always wanted protection and they always wanted these facilities. That is how they will survive. This is the universal truth. No girl will like to marry a beggar, right? No girl will. That is unfair. Muad can't help. That is what we call society. That is unfair, but can't help. That is the truth. Can you argue with me about that? No, right? Girls, if they did not study, they can survive, Puta. There are a number of methods that they can survive. But remember, most of the girls are studying really well. But boys are not doing that. Later on, they will identify that I have wasted my time. Understood? That is the society. So girls, they want to be a secure position. They don't like to date with a beggar because after their parents have given all the facilities and all the well-being, do you think that they will marry a beggar? Right? They will not marry a beggar. They will never marry a beggar. Do you think that I like my daughter to be given to marry to a beggar? No, Puta. I always wanted to give some kind of an upper class. Even your parents are also like that. They also want to catch an upper class, right? My daughter is married to a minister. My daughter is married to a doctor, lawyer, engineer. My daughter is married to a beggar. That will never happen. This is the reality. We have to face the reality. This is the reality of the society. Understood? Right. So then what happens? The girl is here correct, but the girl should not humiliate the boy. That is correct. So she could have kindly said that. Basically, I have a boyfriend. So you should not come with this red rose, right? That is not nice, right? That is not nice because I don't want to lie because I have a boyfriend. I have Chamberlain's nephew. So she should have not tell that your shoes don't have this thing and that. That is unnecessary. This calls that her ego. Understood? There are certain words actually used by her that is not necessary, Puta. That is not necessary, right? Chamberlain's nephew has got this thing and that thing, and that is not necessary. Understood? This is where she shows her ego mentality, egoistic mentality. Understood? So certain things cannot be acceptable, right? So humiliation part, I don't agree there. That is where actually she has gone wrong, my dear students, right? The silver buckles in his shoes also indicate his sound wealth. Finally, she says, who are you? Only a student. Thus, the student is subject to humiliation as he does not have sound economic and social position. The girl's class consciousness, class. Upper class, middle class, working class, right? Only literature class, only you will learn about these class differences. So remember about the class difference, and later after this class, you check whether which class that you belongs to, right? After this class, you can check which class that you belongs to. It's like a bloody rap, right? Okay. So we will go to the resolution, right? In the end, the student concludes what a silly thing love is. The boy understood that, I thought that love is something, yeah, beggars marry, Puta. That is a very good question, Nishani. Beggars definitely marry a male beggar will marry a female beggar, Puta. That is we call social class. Understood? That is what we call social class. It's a very good, what you call understanding, Ishani, right? The class difference. Now, as an example, Ishani, you will understand your parents will always seek for a boy in order to given to be married to you one day, I don't know, right? Somewhat much more upper than your level. If you are riding a Mercedes Benz, the boy should have to have a Bugatti or something like that, or else whatever car, what is much more valuable than the Mercedes Benz. That is the reality. You never like to go in what do you call Maruti car, no? I mean, your father has got a Mercedes Benz and your boyfriend has got a Maruti car. That is not nice, no, Buddha. There is a big difference in the social class. Or else he got a scooter. So that's not going to happen. So social class, parents are thinking about that. Okay, what's the school? Royal College. Anand, Naland. Okay, St. Peter's, St. Thomas. Siyabalandu, Harispattu, Hangwell Rajasingh. Then there is a problem, right? Then there is a problem. Can you understand? Social, even in the schools, we have social class. Even in the school. So beggar won't marry. Beggars will marry. Beggars will marry. A male beggar will marry a female beggar. That's it. A male beggar, I have never seen in stories, a male beggar or else what do you call masculine beggar has married a top class, what do you call girl. I have never heard in my life. Even in the short stories, I have never heard. That won't happen. That will only happen in fairy tales. Barbie girls, that will happen. Otherwise, in real life, Puta, those things won't happen. Definitely your parents, once you will face in that situation when you are going to marry, right? That's the reality. We have to face with the difference, no, Puta, right? Most commonly in the medieval times, today also we have the class difference, Puta, in this society. We don't see that as the class difference. See the schools that we have, that they have categorized. St. Peter, St. Thomas, Anand and Aland. If you take Buddhist, they will check about if the boy is Buddhist, Anand and Aland, Gala Mahind, likewise. If the boy is Christian or something, Royal, Thurston, Thurston, Royal, or else St. Peter, St. Thomas, Trinity. They have different category, right? Other buggers, Mahanama, Thurston, and DS, and Janadipati, lower level. Vishaka, Devi Balika, you have a different level. Can you see? You can't argue that, Puta, that is there. That is there. That is obviously there. You can't tell that in Sri Lanka we don't have class difference. We have in a certain different level. In a certain different level. Now, when we take Royal and Thurston, same schools nomin like nearby. But when we say Royal, same land, right? Only one fence is there, same land. But when you say Royal College, oh, Royal College, Thurston, Thurston, you see the difference. There's a big difference. I'm a Vishakian. I'm from Vishaka. I'm from Devi Balika. Then if you take, I'm from Yasodhara. I'm not telling, I'm from Yasodhara. There's a difference, right? With the name itself, there is a difference. I'm a museum, right? With the name itself, there is a difference. No, whether you like it or not, you have to face that. You have to face that. I have faced that. That is why I'm telling as a teacher, I have experience more than you. Class difference is everywhere. Class difference is everywhere. You go everywhere, you can see the class difference, right? Right. So no, she didn't mention about the class. No, she never mentioned about the class, but we can get the idea now, Puta, because she is a professor's daughter. Now, professor is a person who earns a lot of, like, huge amount of money, right? Obviously, right? So definitely she belonged to the first class or the second class. Boys also belong to second class, but he's not that much rich. So don't class difference is something that we can talk like hours about the class difference when it comes to schools, when it comes to food, right? McDonald's, right, okay, taco, or else you can go to Pizza Hut, or else you can go to Galadar, yeah, right. Matarabat Kadi. Matarabat Kade is totally different, right? See, class difference, right? Matarabat Kade is different. McDonald's is different. So you can clearly see the class difference there, right? We don't think about that, Puta, but that's the reality. Class difference is there in different sections, like different wise. Schools, food, clothes. Now, Ishani will know that Kelly Fedler. Oh, Kelly Fedler. But when you take shades and Supul collection and all and candy collection, then there is the class difference, right? So I know about those things because we have girls in our house as well. Class difference, right? So everybody like Kelly Fedler. So right, this is what we are going to learn, right? Interesting things when it comes to literature, right? So then we go to the falling action. The student becomes hopeless when the girl refuses to accept the rose. She frowns, showing her dislike, and states, "I'm afraid it will not go with my dress." She very profoundly, we have discussed about the falling action. Sorry, we have discussed about the resolution, last part. In the end, the student concludes what a silly thing love is and goes back to the great dust old books, and metaphysics. Metaphysics is the subject that he is going to learn, that is known as philosophy, right? The student seems to think that love is trivial emotion that should not be bothered too much. That is why the student easily erases the memory of the girl without begging and pleading her love. Now, normally, if he's a true lover, he should beg, like the Bollywood movies that we have seen. He should kneel down like Shah Rukh Khan, and he should do the hands like this, the hand movements like that, and he should beg the love, right? But he never did like that, because actually, even to beg, he didn't love. Even to beg, he didn't love, actually. He just wanted to have some kind of a dance. That's it, right? So the sacrifice made by the Nightingale for true love is only a waste. Can you understand? The sacrifice done by the Nightingale is actually only a waste. It further conveys that true love is only a concept in the human world. Thus, there is an open end in the story to contemplate, analyze, and other human frailties exposed in the story. So certain failures of human beings are also exposed in the story. We have done that, and we are moving to the literary techniques. Do you have semantic field in your tutorial? Can you please pass me a message? If you don't have the semantic field, we don't have to write about that. Do you have semantic field in your like printed tutorial? Do you have the semantic field? Can you please pass me a message? All right, okay. So you have this one. You don't have to learn about that part because that is like not essential, right? Okay. Now, do you have writing style? Do you have this note to write down? Do you have this? We have to write. Okay, please write down. I will give you a note as well here, right? Right. So please write down this part as well. You have to write. Okay, right. You can write down this part as well. Hurry up and pass me a message. Genre is the story is fairy plays, or else it can be a fable. Please write down it as a fable. Okay. Sometimes in the exam they might ask that. Right. Fable. It is also known as a fable. Right. They are known as fables. I have given. What do you mean by a fable? I have given here that part as well. If you have any problems, you can ask. Hurry up and pass me the message if you have finished. If you have any questions like Sasindu asked, like Ishani, whatever the comments that you like to put, this is the class that you can put, right? You can't ask all these personal questions that are burning in your mind in physics class or chemistry class or science class or maths class. But literature is the subject that we are going to deal with life. We have time, we can talk, we can relate that into our stories as well. That is the most important thing. Not like the metaphysics, not like the philosophy that the boy is going to learn, which there is no any practical value. But here literature will always have a practical value. Even you are at the age 25, age 35, 45, 55, you can relate to a story from your O-level lesson and tell a story to your daughter or your son, right? That is why he gives up. So the boy knows that he completes his education, he can find a better girl. That is why he gives up on this girl. Yes, yes, can be, can be. It can be. We can argue in that perspective as well. No worries. Right. Okay. So I hope you guys have finished. What was the place for writers back then? They did not recognize the writers. They did not recognize the writers at all. Right. They did not recognize the writers means that they did not recognize the writers who wrote in literature perspective. Understood? They recognize writers who are scientific writers, who wrote about the educational stuff, right? Not in the aesthetic stuff, poems, short stories, novels. They didn't have to read. They didn't have time to read those things. Understood? They did not have any time period to read all those stuff. So they did not pay any attention, right? So even in the schools, they never taught. Now in the school, in your school, you have aesthetic subjects, right? Under this, you have music, dancing, and we have drama, one of the most influential subjects, drama and theater, and we have literature, right? Art. Actually, drama and theater should belong to this category, but unfortunately they are teaching this in a different manner, but it should belong to this category, right? Drama and theater should come under literature, right? Because in literature we have all. We have music in poetry, right? We have drama and theater when it comes to drama, right? We only don't have art, and all the other facets of literature they are in English literature or whatever the literature form, right? So right, so the literary techniques that we have, genre of the story is fairies play, or else you can take it is known as a fable. Fable is a story where we have most of the animals and trees and flowers, they are actually personificated or else personified in order to pass a message to the humans. It's a children's story, uh, or else we can say it is much more directed towards the teenagers, not like teenage story, but much more directed towards teenagers. Full of indirect comments on life. We have personification. Similes are abundantly used. Abundantly means like a lot of similes are there, abundantly used, and symbolism can be seen in the story as well. Right. Okay. So we'll move on to the next part. Right. Do you have something to write there as well? Damruani? Do you have something to write, Puta? Right. This part you have to write. No, right? Do you have this part to write? Personification. Do you have to write something here? Right. Okay. Hurry up and write down. I have given them in point form, but I will give you more because like it's better to write down. No, we have symbolism as well. Similes I have given. Yes, I have given them. You don't have to write this. No, you just write down this one. I will not give anything. I have given that previously. Next, I will give those stuff. So personification of birds, the nightingale. Personification of insects, a lizard and a butterfly. Personification of trees, oak tree, daisy, and rose tree. A lizard cannot be taken as an insect, but I have categorized under that. Lizard comes under the category of reptilia, right? Lizards are taken as reptilians, not as arthropoda, I guess. In science, they come as reptilians, right? They are not insects. Right, okay. Yes, very much conversational language. Not the poem, the drama, sorry, short story. We have much conversational language. Yes. A lot of conversations are taking place between the rose tree and the nightingale and the boy and the what do you call professor's daughter. We have a lot of conversational language, right? We have a lot. Hurry up and pass me the message. Okay. Olfactory images, we will discuss about that, Yasin. We will discuss about olfactory images as well. Yes. Okay, right. Amaya has finished. I have given them in like in a nutshell, right? So you can easily understand. Okay, Sasindu has finished. Shall we move on to next one? Right. Okay. So we have literary techniques. Did I give you all these literary techniques, similes? Do you have to write them, or else can you please tell me? Do you have in your tutorial? I can't remember, Buta. I have made that like long time ago. You have to write, Ane, please write down, not the full thing. Huh? Don't write the full down. Here is dark, here is dark as hyacinth blossom. Right? And after that, you put some dots. Then you can remember you have a lot. Then here, she passed through the grove like a shadow and put some dots. Here, this one you can write. As yellow as the hair of the mermaidian, put some dots. As red as the feet of the dove, put some dots. Flame colored are his wings and colored like flames is his body, put some dots. Just write some part and put some dots. We have a lot. I have selected only few. Right? We have a lot of similes there. I have selected only a few. Hurry up and pass me the message. Pokemon, yeah, it counts, right? It counts. Yes, personification can be seen in a lot of things, right? Pokemon, yes, up to some extent. It is very famous, no? Even the Pokemon Go cards, I think like they are really expensive, I guess. Like there are people who are collectors, even they collect. I have seen some collectors as well. It's like really popular among the boys. Yeah, that's what I said. Like people, like they not only boys. I mean like the adults even they collect. Right? They have a lot of like huge collections. I have seen they have a lot of huge collections, and according to them, I don't know, but they say that they are like very valuable. I don't know whether it is true, but people collect. 500, really? Appa, right? Yeah, Ravina, we have metaphors as well. We have metaphors as well. I have heard about this Pokemon Go scene. Yes, it's very famous, right? Yeah, that's true, Yasiru. You should not have to write a long, lengthy detail about the poet and the poem. That is correct. Yasiru, your class teacher is correct. Completely correct, right? One version of really more than $1,000. Oh my gosh, really? Yeah, I have heard about the incident, right? So Yasiru said that do we have to write a long description about the writer, about the person that we are going to what do you call, or the poet or the poem? You don't have to write a long, lengthy description, right? At least you have to write 2 to 3 lines about the poem and 2 to 3 lines about the poet. That is more than enough. That is more than enough, because some students I have seen that they can remember about what do you call even the Google doesn't know certain facts that he does, right? Even Google doesn't know certain facts that he does. They study that much extent about the what do you call the certain author. I have seen some students. You don't have to go like that actually. Like if you know certain facts, that is more than enough. So I hope that you have finished this. And we have symbolism. Symbolisms, I think I have given you the example. Do you have to write both? I think I have given the example. You have to only write the symbol, is it? Do you have to write both? Amaya? You don't have to write, like you don't have to write. Okay, right, fine. Red rose, true love, which needs constant nourishment of passions of the lovers. True love, which needs constant nourishment and passions of the lovers. Example, in story, he threw the rose into the street where it fell into the gutter and the cartwheel went over it. Okay, you are still writing the last line of simile. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You just tell me. I thought that you have finished. Okay, right. Shall we move on to the next part? Then we are moving with symbolism, right? The story of lot of symbols. As you can see here, red rose, it explains about true love, which needs constant nourishment of passion of the lovers. The example is given here, which shows us that in this utilitarian society, there is no place for true love, right? That is what I have explained here, right? Okay, then the next part, lizard. This is very much important. Please highlight. If you have a highlighter, please highlight. This is very important. The whole part is very important. Where he's a very cynical, pessimist fellow. He does not see anything important. This is very symbolical to the utilitarian society that we live in. This is very similar to the utilitarian society that we live, that they live in. Lizard and the butterfly is clearly explaining about, clearly criticizing about all the actions which is happening in the society. That is why the lizard is laughing towards the boy. The boy is crying for a red rose. Even the butterfly and even the lizard actually tell that it is kind of a ridiculous act. Only Nightingale understood the real weeping and the real pain of the boy. Can you understand? Only the Nightingale understood the real pain, right? No, the lizard and the what do you call butterfly did not identify the sadness of the boy or else the suffocative condition of the boy. Lizard and butterfly clearly explains about the symbolically shows about the utilitarian society where there was no place for emotion, where there was no place for love, where there was no place for affection, where there was no place for kindness, nothing at all. Nothing at all. So lizard is very much important. It is very cynical, and even the butterfly, my dear students, cynical and lizard, butterfly, and the daisy flower as well. Right? We have three elements there. Right? So it is symbolically shows us about the cynical, pessimistic, utilitarian society. Cynical, pessimistic, utilitarian society. Right? That is what they explain here. Very important. Huh? That part is very important, Puta. You have to pay your attention there. Then we have Nightingale, a truthful, devoted pursuer of love, who dares to sacrifice his own precious life for the betterment of love. Where Nightingale can be taken as a symbol of true love. I have given that, and I have given an example for that as well. All night long, she sang with her breast against the thorn. She kept on singing. The thorn went deeper and deeper into her breast. Where we can see the sacrifice done by the Nightingale in order to have a better, in order to keep, what do you call that, love. Then we have literary techniques as symbolism. He furthermore goes there. Student can be taken as not a true lover, ignorant of love, not persistent in pursuing love. He want to, this part is actually, there is a printing mistake. He did not know even the ABC of love. He did not know even the ABC of love, which means that he doesn't have any idea. He didn't have any idea whatsoever what real love is. He only had that passionate love that most of the teenagers will get when they are loving each other, right? That is only actually based on passion. That is not real love. Real love is something far more different than that. That is what I have explained here, right? With that, we are coming to the themes of the story. Based on these themes only, your questions will be targeted. So pay your attention about that. Themes. The short story, yes, we have a question. So oak tree symbolizes wisdom. Yes, yes, oak tree can be taken as wisdom. The short story, The Nightingale and the Rose, enrich in its thematic value. The allegorical prose, allegorical means you have what do you call a lot of symbols. Allegory means you have a lot of symbols, metaphors, similes, a lot of techniques, right? Allegorical means it is bound by a lot of techniques in literature. Allegorical prose, right? It is meant by a lot of techniques in literature. You have symbols, you have metaphors, you have similes, you have symbols likewise. Into the narration of dexterity and questions many values embedded in the social order. Questions many values embedded with the social order. Social order refers to the utilitarian society. Most themes carry an ironical piquancy, and many myths about human emotions such as love is wonderful and precious, and it brings joy to the hearts of mankind are shattered. So people believe like that, but actually in this short story it was shattered into pieces, right? Where this Oscar Wilde clearly shows us that is actually a myth, where there is nothing called true love. The true love can be only possessed from animals. That is what he actually tries to say. That is why Nightingale is actually taken as the symbol of true love. Can you understand? That is why Nightingale is no. She can. Oscar Wilde can clearly take another human being as true love, another girl instead of professor's daughter. There is another character, a girl. But why he did not take another character, another human character? Because the Oscar Wilde wanted to show that there is nothing called true love in the society, right? Especially in the Victorian society. And it brings joy. The hearts of mankind are shattered. Shattered means it is actually not true that true love brings real joy to our heart. There is nothing like that. Then we are coming to the theme of true love. We will only discuss about this one. Then the next day we will discuss the rest. Theme of love, true love. Multi forms of love are examined in short story. I have given them in point form. True love, infatuation, and conditional love. So love is given actually in three formats. We have true love, we have infatuation, that is called passionate love, and we have conditional love, that is what we call materialistic love. True love represented by the Nightingale. True love involves sacrifice, selflessness, and suffering. It is one of the strongest human emotions. True love is wiser than philosophy and mightier than power, right? So you can clearly see this. True love is better than life. True love is a love that dies not in the tomb. It stands the test of the time, which means that true love is eternal. That is why still we are discussing about the true lovers who sacrifice their lives for the name of love. Romeo and Juliet, Antony and Cleopatra, Othello and Desdemona. We discuss about that. Exactly, Ravina. Very good. Materialism versus romanticism. Very good, Ravina. That's the spirit. Utilitarianism versus aestheticism. Very good, Ravina. True love is the rarest among mankind. It is often discarded as the red rose for a lesser emotion which might not demand sacrifice, right? So it is actually taken less demand in the society due to people are not showing real attention towards the true love because they try to take true love into account for money, right? They try to bring monetary perspective for the true love. That is the most important thing. Actually, we have to pay our attention towards that. Okay, right. So we will wind up the session today. We are going to meet you again on Monday, that is 31st. 31st, we are going to discuss about our novel, that is Vendor of Sweets by R.K. Narayan. Then what do you call? I am making all the difficult words. I want to tell you that I am making all the difficult words from R.K. Narayan's Vendor of Sweets, and there will be a separate tutorial soon after we finish Vendor of Sweets by R.K. Narayan. By chapter wise, we will take all the difficult words that we have in the book and we will write their meanings as well. Understood? Right. So get ready for that. And soon after we finish that, we will write some target questions. Every Monday, we are targeting our novel Vendor of Sweets. So we are going towards that. So please make sure to participate for the classes. If the weather condition is not a problem for us, we will conduct the class as just a normal class. So thank you so much. Have a nice day. Good night.